Hi. Sorry, I couldn't tell if it was working then. Right, I've been at this all day. I'm a semi-alcoholic and I've not had a beer. I don't know what time it is. It's about 5:30, 6, and I've not had a beer all day and I've run out of smoke. So um, I am now feeling quite scared and nervous, but really just want to get this over and done with. um, I'm so mute when it comes to this. Like, I find it really hard to talk about my feelings. But in life, you've got to face your fears and put on mascara, especially so I wouldn't cry this time. So I've been at this all day and I've only made one viable video, and it's an hour and 52 minutes long. By the end of it, I was grabbing my hoo-ha and kind of like jiggling, like trying to like finish what I was saying, and I went all over the place, as pretty much as I'm doing now. But yeah, today's my birthday, and I know you're not meant to say your wishes out loud because they won't come true, but mine haven't, so maybe I'll wish out loud, because the last time I did, my prayers were answered. But be careful what you wish for, because it's been an absolute nightmare. But today, on the day of imagination, I would like to imagine a world where if you deserve help, you can get it. This has been a long battle for me. And 5 years ago, when I knew I'd lost it, I decided to make like a tree, and the little bit of spirit I had left, I wanted to chuck out into the world. And I hope that if I could have helped just one person the way I couldn't help myself, that my life wouldn't have been for nothing. So that got me in the nut house, didn't it? I said I'd lost my touch on reality, and I thought, bollocks to this, I've never had any reality. But at the same time, I may know nothing about this world, but I sure as hell in my years have learned a lot about life. I've been through so much change to my consciousness and to the way I view life, the way I interact with it, what I've seen. And that just opened up a bigger can of worms. But when they told me I'd lost my touch on reality and that I was going to have to be drugged the rest of my life on these shitty drugs, they wouldn't give me any others. They just kept asking me if I had superpowers, and I'm like, no, I just can't live in a world like this anymore. I'm broken and I'm ruined and I'm perverted, and when I look out at the world, most of it is as well. In many various forms. So today, my birthday wish is that someone will help me. Because unfortunately, the people that want to can't, and the people that can either don't want to or don't know I exist. But when they told me I lost my touch on reality, I went and searched for it. And what I found, well, fact is often stranger than fiction. And so I'd like to tell you my story and propose my theory of quantum reality. And I know that people will think I'm crazy, but maybe I'm just the kind of crazy that a world like this needs, because I think the world is crazy. In 2020, has the world gone mad or me? I think it's you lot. But my reality is now so batshit crazy, it is one or the other. you know, and after being locked up several times, after being put in the mental institution, who also, by the way, robbed me of my Care Bear. You know, I'm autistic, and that bear was the one thing I had of my dad's. Now, if there was a fire and I had to save my brothers or my Care Bear, I would go for, I'd hate to say it, but I'd probably want to go for Care Bear. I wouldn't, but I'd want to. And if I got a choice between whether I ever saw them again, or, you know, if they didn't have to die, you can see Care Bear, you can have Care Bear, or you can see brothers, I would have chosen Care Bear, hands down. So I'm furious, and I've got no clue what to say. And it's taken me 5 years just to get here. And I don't have any longer because I can't carry on living like this. Now, when I say like this, oh, how do I turn the camera around? Oh, it won't. So when I say like this, I'm hardly living, you know, in... Do you know, I know there's people who are in far worse situations than me, but if you can't live with your situation, then you can't. Now, the things that were bothering me that led up to my mental breakdown, you know, over these last 5 years, I have been trying my best to sort them out. You know, when I realised that I was autistic and hypersensitive, you know, I changed the whole way I live. I had to declutter. I had to get organised. You know, my life has been so chaotic. You know, I forgot that I was OCD because I never had the chance to organise, you know, and I'd suffered such bad depression. Like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, this isn't very short, and I'm not doing very well here, but that's the whole point. I'm only here now asking you on this day, you know, because people always take to Facebook on this day, posting, you know, imagine, and if only John Lennon was still here. Well, he's not. But imagine that we all resurrect his spirit and try, because this planet is dying. Now, there are several different reasons for this, but also I've grown up all my life as a dogmatic, practical materialist. Now, I'm silly and I love fairy tales, but I liked living in them because I just didn't like living in the real world. You know, never seen a ghost, never seen an alien. You know, I don't really do conspiracy theories, or, you know, until all this kicked off. And then I had to start and look at the world, and it just doesn't make sense. Now, the only thing that I had left that has any gravity to me personally was my father. Once upon a time I was told that he'd be ashamed of me. And it hurt. My family said, you know, that's not true. But then I realised that he would. He would be so ashamed of me because I'm not the girl that he brought up. So I'm really hoping that someone out there will help me, because, do you know what, I'm doing so well. You know, even today, like, you know, this time 2 years ago, because I tried it every year, apart from last year, because I was like, no, fuck it, I'm just going to give myself a year off and just try and get myself sorted, because the year before, like, you know, I was just literally, like, in tears, hair all over the place, just crying, Neil deGrasse Tyson, if Newton was your boy, I'm your daddy. Just, it was a train wreck. But anyway, I've got so many videos from the last 5 years, including one that I made on the day that I was institutionalized. And there is a whole story that I'm just desperate to share with you. And it is crazy. But once you remove the impossible, whatever's left, however improbable, must be the truth. My name is Amber Elizabeth Blythe, and I'm the observer of the universe. You see, because I've had one of those Newton moments. I never say it made any sense to me, and, you know, I was only 5, so, you know, and I never really thought much else of it. You know, but the apple didn't fall for me. The apple came to me. And I've had that Einstein moment. Read a beam of light across the universe. But I didn't ride it across. I became the light and quantum tunneled the fuck out of this universe. Because E equals MC squared in the hands of man, it's I am become death, destroyer of worlds. But E equals MC squared in the hands of love, in true spirit, is I am become life, creator of universes. And the reason you can't marry up general relativity and quantum mechanics is because they're not the same things. Like, quantum mechanics is the underlying framework of the universe, also known as the electron. General relativity and Newtonian mechanics are levels of consciousness. So when I had my Newton moment, it's when my consciousness quantum entangled with the noosphere of the Earth, and I became an inflaton field, what physicists would call an inflaton field. So basically, I took on extra mass, took on extra volume, but was pushed really far inside me. Now I've spent a lifetime trying to escape the cage. The walls that I've been trapped behind. But in the meantime, my consciousness has just been decaying and decaying and decaying, my spirit, my soul. And it just went down and down and down and down and down and down and down until I felt like nothing. And I couldn't live any longer. But I just couldn't let go of this childish notion that the world could be such a better place. And when I felt like there was no one in it. Oh no, right, I'm not gonna go down here, and I've got my big waiting, and I've got a curry arriving in about an hour. So blah blah blah. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I've got a theory of quantum reality, and it's testable. Because if I'm right about this and a nuclear bomb went off in my head or my consciousness, which by the way is completely possible, you know, that's I can't remember what his theory was, but Roger Penrose postulated the creation of consciousness and what it would take, and Max Tegmark did the work for it, and it's 1 trillion thoughts a second, which laid linearly. Sorry, my Skype's just gone off, so it's just knocked me off a bit. I find it so hard to keep my mind in one place, especially in a subject like this. 1 trillion thoughts a second. Now, if you lay those out, that's 32,000 years, or something like that. 32,000 years in 1 second. I'm here to say it is possible. It is terrifying and it hurts. It feels like you're in the eye of a storm with 20,000 TVs going on around your head, showing you your life and your thoughts and your dreams and your nightmares and your fears and your hopes, all going off at once like war, while your mind gets ripped open, and each thought you have trickles down into your already fucking broken heart and just adds to it and adds to it and adds to it. And this is the energy that sparks off the inflaton field to create universes. Consciousness is the fundamental force of the universe, and that spark that creates love, the gravity of love of life, and the anti-gravity of the repulsion of this world. When fire and ice kiss and consume. You know, this world is disgusting. And they say freedom is not just doing what you like, it's having the right to do what you think you ought. And I think I ought to speak out. But I have tried, and I cannot get help. And in that sense, I am retarded. Do you know, I cannot steer my own life. I am a big giant child with substance abuse issues. I'm autistic, I've got HSP, dyslexia, ADHD, OCD. Was suggested by the mental health team that I saw a few weeks ago that I had antisocial personality disorder. And it's like, I'm not antisocial. I'm probably one of the most fucking social people I've ever met. You know, I was dead shy as a child, but I was shy, you know, but I broke out of those shackles. Age is the wonderful thing where you become who you're always meant to be. And I'm silly, I'm playful. I don't like to be serious. I like to laugh. I like to see people laugh. I like to dance, even though I can't dance. I now call it like twattercise. I was denied a tutu at the age of 3. Mum took me to ballet class, and you just have to do these simple steps, and like you graduate to your ballet skirt. And I couldn't. I couldn't. Everyone else in the class got to wear a tutu, and I didn't. I just wore my own clothes, and it like mum's like I was really. I thought I was like the main event, and everyone else was like my backup dancers. I don't think I caught on that I was shit, but I was. And my days at Q Club dancing like a twat to fucking anything, Led Zeppelin, Oasis, Britpop, rock and roll, dancing around like a twat. You know, Jarve, Amber, you're categorically the worst dancer I've ever seen. And that, again, I'm diversifying. Anyway, 5 years ago, I went through an absolute, nervous breakdown. But it was a mental breakup with the reality of this world. You know, because if the only definition of crazy is keep repeating the same experiment and expecting a different outcome, then it seemed like the only experiment I hadn't tried in life at that point was really truly thinking for myself. My dad always told me, I don't know if I've already said this, but if something doesn't feel right, question it. If they've got an answer, they'll be able to tell you. If they do, if they can't, or if they do and it still doesn't feel right, maybe they don't have the right one. And this world doesn't feel right for me. And when I said that I need help to understand myself and this world, because I can't live like this anymore, and I was in sheer and utter chaos, you know, and they didn't help. They just locked me up for 3 weeks, drugged me, you know, and the place that they put you in, I mean, it's since been closed for malpractice, but there's nothing there. There is nothing there to do. Nothing. It was honestly, I mean, I've got loads of photos, and I mean, you're not meant to take any photos or stuff, but I took some, like, just of the filthy thing. Like, when you walked out of the door, like the doors, you know, you're actually locked in. When you walk out into but there is like an area. When you walk out into the doors, it's like it was on the main road. Like there was rabbits there, so it's all, the grass was all covered in rabbit shit. And you walked out towards the bench, and you were wading through. Like, I cleared it up in the end, and you know, Tim was like, "Don't, you know, I think you're really crazy," and I'm like, "I don't care. This is disgusting." You're like, it was just piles and piles and piles of fag butts, and that's all there is to do really there. Sit and smoke and wonder where your life went wrong. And anyway, I've got so many stories to tell you about what I've observed in this world and realizations that I've come to. But also, the more I know, the realization is I know nothing about the scope of this multiverse we live in. I damn sure know a lot about this universe. And this has been torture for me. You know, I just, after my dad died, I just stopped learning. You know, I mean, I still carried on in education, but I stopped. Something turned off with me. You know, but also, I know there's still a brain in here. And I just need help to find my voice, because when it comes to this, I'm mute, because the majority of it, the majority of the thinking that I do is in my heart and not my head. But yeah, I don't know. I started off on this path, well, a lot longer than 5 years ago, but you know, and although it's got so much bigger, my destination still hasn't changed. And as I was falling through, well, as I was getting spaghettified, I got 3 commandments: save the rainforests, save the oceans, and stop genetic engineering. Now, I may be crazy, but what I care about is this planet and all the sentient beings in it. And there is ways that we can work this out if only we are willing to cooperate. And at the moment, we are using our resources ridiculously and greedily, and we just, you know, we can live with more abundance and with more riches than we could probably dream of, if we are just willing to realise the stuff that we don't need and we have taken a wrong turn. You talk about, now, Darwinian evolution may work on a genetic scale, but on a conscious scale, Darwinian evolution is actually devolution, and it works with the second law of thermodynamics. Now, if you give me a chance, I will explain it all, and it is testable. That's the point. It is testable and cheap as fuck. Honestly, just think of me as your free Large Hadron Collider. Because, by the way, I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there with their little laser beams, but it's not recreating the conditions of the Big Bang. It's not just about the energy. Where's the gravity? Where's the anti-gravity? Where's the observer? You know, what are you doing there? And yeah, anyway, blah, blah, blah. I will keep going on. I've got a few Skype calls, and I am getting really panicky, and I don't really know what I'm saying. And that cold, sweaty beer is looking at me, and I really want it. But I've not had a beer today. I usually have 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 2 in the evening. But I've not had a beer today, just because I wanted to try and keep straight. Because if I have a beer and I get upset, the fear, like the fear running through me now, like I am absolutely sweating buckets. My hands are sweaty, but I feel all cold. Anyway, I would really like to tell you my story, but no one will listen to me, apart from like the people that like me, and they already know I'm crazy, and they just think, oh, it's Samba. I'm always with my new ideas. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to go off here, and I'm going to go off and do that. And I'm thinking, people are just fed up with me. I'm the girl that's cried suicidal. I'm the girl that's cried stupid. And I'm the girl that cried, I really need help, for so long. No one's really willing to take me seriously anymore, and I can't blame them. But I am working really hard to pay for my sins, and I have got my house tidy. I actually have a home for the first time in my life. I have a happy, gorgeous little dog. I have friends. I read books. I've found philosophy, quantum physics, Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan. I found thinking again. And it has been the greatest adventure I've ever had, but I am in it alone. And I feel the weight and the responsibility of my reality. I'm not saying it's yours, but it is mine, and I just want the chance. To know. And I don't really care, in a way. Not about that. I want to know if I can do something to help end the suffering of this world. And I don't care if you think I'm delusional and I've got delusions of grandeur. People would say it's not your place to save the world. And it's like, well, by that logic, it's absolutely no one's. So when it's so free fall towards its own destruction, surely we, as the only capable species on the planet of helping slow that destruction, then surely it's our responsibility to. And I know there's things going on, I know there's changes being made, but not enough. And not in enough time. Well, do you know what? I mean, in my reality, the world ended on the 22nd of May 2016. My other birthday. When I add it up, all I know is may the 4th be with you. And my religion is Jedi. And the Jedi goes into any darkness to fight for the light. So I am willing to march into hell now and stand in front of the world and ask them to believe that somehow I know more than them. And I just want a chance to see if I'm right. But sometimes it's the people that no one expects anything of that can do the things that no one can expect. So if I can give you a theory of quantum reality that not only encompasses the theory of everything, because let's face it, a theory of everything isn't a theory of everything. I don't know what you're going for. What's the point of knowing how if you don't know why? Isn't why the biggest question? Why are we here? What's the meaning to life? Now I have that one equation that you want, that sums it all up. The one that will fit on a t-shirt, the one that you can explain to a child. But the thing is, though, I don't know how to explain it in your words. And if I explain, you know, it's like it's like a triangle, like, and it takes biology, physics, and life. Oh no, see even that analogy is shit. Yeah, anyway, it can't be explained in any one shape or term. Do you know, it's quantum. But if you give me the chance, I'm pretty sure if you teach me your information, I can tell you where it goes. And if you give me the chance to help tell my story, we can weave this into a tapestry that can help, you know, because I know the stages of consciousness. I know what turns a star into a dying star. I understand depression. I have lived it. I understand what turns a dying star into a black hole. I don't want to go into telling you right now. How I got onto my event horizon. And to answer your question, physicists, do you know if you enter a black hole? Deep down you do. And I knew and that's it. I knew why it was happening, but I had no clue what was happening. And anyway, right, I'm going to end this here. I really am. So, please, world, please, help. Because I'm pretty sure I'm the fifth element that you are looking for. I'm pretty sure I'm consciousness, but you're going to have to help me out here, because I'm spread now. Not only just over worlds, but over universes. And it is an ask, you know, and I've not eaten in 3 days now because I'm so nervous. I'm so anxious. Like, I don't know how wobbly this is because, you know, I'm nervous. I haven't eaten. My hypertension is going. I've had to have, today I've had, you know, I went for a run and had my Hof bath and stuff and been doing my yoga and just dancing around, you know, and yeah, I want to share with you how I've got through these 5 years because this can help. That's just, you know, it's all just ordinary stuff. You know, on that side, none of it is exciting. You know, I want to share with you my epic battle of how it took about 12 months for me to rearrange my sock drawer. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, and just a hard time I've had because it's not just my life wasn't just chaos because I was untidy. It was because I didn't know how to order it. So I want to share all that stuff with you because I think that's going to be really, really helpful. We can put it into really practical advice because there are so many people struggling. And when there's so many people committing suicide, it's just scandalous, you know, and suicide is a sin. But it's a sin of this world because animals are inbuilt with a survival instinct, but spirit dies if it does not get sated. And once your spirit goes, you cannot carry on. That's full gravitational collapse. Now, it can happen to many people in many different ways. I was lucky enough to be able to overcome gravitational collapse because, well, I'm not quite sure why. You know, because I'm the Holy Spirit. I'm the electron. Like, you know, I was born to suffer. And that was always going to be my fate. But also, that's going to be everyone's fate. Because we are all one. We are all one. We are all one thing. So anyway, please, let's sort out this madness. And you know, has the world gone mad, or is it me? And it's one or the other as far as I'm concerned. And it's 2020, and look at the world. And I'm getting myself sorted. Do you know, like for the first time ever. You know, I got down to about 6.5 stone. Well, 6 stone. My well, I just looked like Skeletor. And I just remember, because I couldn't eat myself. I couldn't eat, and I could barely wash. I got about something like 9 days, and I was just so gross, and I just really needed a shower. And I remember getting in the shower, and I was just so weak. I was so weak. I couldn't stand, and I remember just laying on the bottom of the bath, and it just, I was in so much pain, like physically, and I'll tell you all about that. Physically, and I was just gasping for breath, and I just knew I was dying. This is after I'd already died. I knew I was dying, and I just remember just gasping. You know, and thinking this is my last breath, and just trying to hold some love in my heart, and just say to myself, at least you tried, Amber. You know, it's why I've literally been to hell. But, like Winston says, if you're going through hell, just keep going. And I think I'm nearly out there. This is my last frontier. Standing up in front of the world and asking them for my help, because I believe that I'm worth it. And I have tried so hard to be worth it, but I'm here. I'm washed. I'm not fed yet, but that will happen soon. I've created a wonderful little sanctuary for myself here. The outside environment's awful, and the environmental factor, I mean, it still does not suit me whatsoever, and I'm not going to go into that. But Mum's split up with a partner, and coincidentally she gets the keys today to her new flat, to a new house. I rent her house at a very, very substandard cost. I've been out of work now for I don't even know how long. So whatever, I need some help with my emotions forward. I really do need help. And I want to know how my brain, I want to explore my own consciousness. Because I used to think I was stupid. And now my mind, I just absolutely fucking love it. And when it's in tandem with my heart, there's just nowhere else I'd rather be. And I've got all the material, you know, I'm not trying to go anywhere. I've got pretty much all the material possessions I need, and I don't want any more. It's just too much to dust. And I really like, you know, cleaning, you know, ex-boyfriends will laugh about this, but I just love pottering around and tidying up. Like, it's part of what keeps me grounded. You know, it's part, you know, being autistic and having PTSD and having so many triggers. Like, I've got so many triggers you would not believe, you know, and some of the hardest to deal with are Christmas, family, and children. Now, I live opposite a school. My dad bled to death at Christmas. Then for 3 months every year, I've got to listen. Oh, Father Christmas is coming. See red everywhere, the same songs, the same sounds, the same smells, and it's everywhere. You cannot hide from it. I've not left the house practically for, you know, I know you've all been in lockdown. I've been in lockdown since, I don't know, for like 6 years or something. You know, and even at Christmas, I can't escape it. I'm getting things through my door. You know, I don't have a telly anymore because I can't stand the adverts. You know, and all this sentiment, Christmas is the time to be with the ones you love. Everything becomes Christmas theme. It is, you know, it's not Christmas, it's Christ Mass. And I don't want to go through another one. Not like this. So, please will someone help? Because on the 18th of December, for the anniversary of my dad's death, I would like to honour him and question this world because it doesn't feel right to me. And if it is right, you should be able to give me an answer. I've asked for one and you can't. You just lock me up and drug me and ask me if I've got superpowers. You know, people are so apathetic, they don't want to think about it. It's too hard. It's too much of an impact on their reality. And do you know what? I've noticed people don't want their reality changed, but tough shit. Reality is changing. It is emotion. We are not static. Nothing's static. So on the 18th of December, I would like to do what I would have liked to have done today. So I've got a whole I don't know, I've got a whole thing that I want to do, and it incorporates David Icke's The Lizard Queen, you know, me as a whoopee cushion taking on Trump. There's a new fart in town. I want to be leader of the free world. And that's the point. A free world doesn't need a leader. It needs a system that people can adhere to. And if people break that system, then there has to be consequences. But past that, who the fuck are you to decide what's right and wrong? Who are you to decide what's right and wrong? You know, I've had PTSD now for over, how long? 31 years. You know, and you've known it for 5. And the only thing that you have offered me for it is antipsychotic medication. Now, I don't want antipsychotic medication. I want a dose of magic mushrooms every now and then. I want help. I want to know there's someone that I can call, because for the majority of the part, I'm massively independent. And now that I can stand myself, I really love my own company and I actually need it. If I spend too much time around people, I become a nightmare. I either get too excited and then I'm manic, and they're frazzled by me, or I get really grumpy and then I start getting snitchy and nasty. And I don't like it. My heart wasn't meant to beat that way. And it hurts me as much as it hurts them. That's the thing. So it's like a double whammy and I just can't keep on going on like this. And this was only meant to be 10 minutes long and I've got my beer still sat there and I need a cigarette and a wee. Yes, I have vices. I am not perfect. But I have perfect intentions. And I will fight with my life if necessary. And I have got hours and hours and hours and thousands of hours worth of videos. I've got a lifetime worth of experience and stories. Some ordinary, some extraordinary. Some that will be relevant to you, some that won't, but they'll be relevant to someone else. Because that's what Darwinian evolution has been doing for consciousness. It's a crossed-edged sword. That's what Darwinian evolution has been doing for consciousness. Much like a white blood cell, it chucks out when it's under stress, it chucks out thousands of copies of itself, and each copy has a go at cracking the code. And when one does, they all change to that code. And it's a bit like that, but that's the point. I don't want 1,000 me's. That would be horrible. Variety's the spice of life. And, how I've learned in life, as an autistic, a lot of mimicking, in life, like, I've learned from people who I want to be and who I don't. Imbued with that childishness that I had when I was younger, kind of awakening in the right way, but not through a child's eyes, and just how childish and ridiculous I have been with the folly of my life. Honestly, I'm doing proper brain farts now. I hope someone's listened to this. I hope someone will help. I don't have a telly or a phone, and I'm a bit useless on technology. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Skype, and this is going on Facebook. So hopefully, I'm really hoping for the butterfly effect here. I'm hoping for a pebble in a pond, because all I want to do is make a film, and not a film, I don't need anything fancy. Come on, someone like Lily Craymore, someone with a video camera, come and help me. I've made loads of stuff. Now I'd hoped that I'd laid it all out and photographed it so that you could see, she could see, but I've made at least 20 or 30 blankets. Now, they're all packed up in boxes, and because Mum split up with John, and that's a long old story that we'll hear all about, but I'm not allowed to I was barred from their house, and all my stuff is in boxes, and it's all moved so quickly, and it has been a nightmare. I was nearly back in the mental institution 3 weeks ago. I've had the police round to my house twice in the last 2 weeks. I mean, saying that, like, the last one was just because I was playing my music too loud and smoking marijuana. And then, so the police came in. I was bricking it, because I was like, oh no, I was by myself. What's gone on now? I'm just so scared. I just couldn't go through any more trauma, because I've been so worried about this deadline. Anyway, they were two fairly youngish lads. They were really cool. They could see I was a bit scared. Like, they asked if they could come in, and I was like clutching Merlin, going, "Oh, I'm not sure, because I'm alone." But yeah, like, they said they got some complaints. They got to ask. He asked me to play my music. To press play on my music to see how loud I was playing it, which was funny, because I was actually listening to Jordan Peterson's like biblical lectures. I mean, I'm only 2.5 deep, but I find them fascinating, and the myths and things like that. Like, why, when Horace got his eye back, didn't he put it back in his head? Why did he go into the underworld and give it to his father? Now, I know why, but like, I'm finding it fascinating, because I never knew all these stories. Or if I did, I never really had any connection to them. And the way my mind is now, the way I'm connecting to things, it's like, before I never knew what I wanted. It was like awakening from a coma, and a lot of the stuff, it's still, it's still me. I still love the Beatles. I still love Disney. But it's like I feel it all in a different way, and I'm starting to be able to process information again. And I want to share it with you. I want to tell you why bacteria and archaea were a one-time deal, whereas eukaryotes, or whatever they're called, because I've only seen the word and I can barely pronounce words. Eukaryotes, why they were the evolution that's set off. This is a tapestry, and if you just help me weave the pieces I can't do on my own, I'm sure that I have the answer you need. And if not, it's a great adventure, a great mind experiment. I'm not starting up any cults, and I've got my project that I want to do that I'm going to tell you all about. Like, none of this stuff is what I want to do. Mine's more to do with an epigenetic social study done in like community form, and where we look at diet sustainability, eco-friendliness, and what people need from a community in order to live, like live for less but live more. So yeah, so anyway, I'm not going to go into any of that now because it's already been 50 minutes, and I'm not sure if the only people that are going to watch this are a few friends that are going to sympathise or or think, well done Amber, at least you tried, and the people in my village that already think I'm a loon, that that'll laugh. But honestly, the level of consciousness around here, it's just, and spirit, I'm not really bothered what, in that sense. I've invoked Dad's consciousness and I don't give a shit, because there's also loads of people that I talk to where, we're on the same page, and say, like, I'll talk to my cousin Hannah, who's got a first degree in chemistry, and when we start talking about this, she's like, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away by you, Amber. You're just a genius. I can't even go to your level. I've got a friend. I go to this jam night down the Checkers, like a music night. It's about the only place in Norfolk that I've, I don't mean a whole of Norfolk. It's the only place locally that I've found that's got any spirit, and it's great. Everyone goes, everyone dances around, everyone talks to each other and has a laugh. The musicians, just all local musicians just get up, different people play songs, some people come from quite far away, and it's just a really nice time. But he's retired now, but he was a physics teacher, and he and I talked, and only very briefly, and as well, it's quite hard. He's quite hard of hearing, and it's jam night, and I'm quite hard of talking to people about how, because like how I view the world isn't through my knowledge of physics, it's through my knowledge of consciousness. But like one of his ex-pupils was doing a talk. I'm not sure if she works at the London College, but she's written a book and was doing a talk on the sun. I think I've watched her. I'm not sure if she did a TED talk or something. But anyway, like, he invited me. I couldn't go, and I was in too bad a place to go, and I still, I wasn't physically well enough to be mentally strong enough, if that makes sense. But what was going to say that? Yeah, he invited me to a lecture he was giving, and I've talked to him about, my stuff, and you wouldn't. There's obviously enough about what I've got to say that makes sense. But 5 years ago, I didn't know any of this stuff, and my life has been hell over the last 5 years. Just crawling by to stay alive and to stay out of the loony bin. When my life has been chaos, my family refer to me as just Amber. I don't, apart from my mum and my cousin Hannah, I don't speak to any of my family. I've got such a traumatic past with relationships and interpersonal relationship, whether it be work, family, friends, particularly boyfriends. And all those years of trauma take their toll, of being lost, of not having a purpose, and not knowing where you're going, or not what you want to do, or who you are. But my equals MC square moment started the minute I did know who I was and where I wanted to go, even if that was hell. My religion's Jedi. So, please, on my birthday, I'm going to blow out my imaginary cake, make my not imaginary wish, and hope that this goes somewhere. And to all my brothers and sisters out there who are suffering, please hold on. Because once the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And I think more and more of us are seeing that the things that this world loves aren't really real. Material stuff, it's not something to love. And don't get me wrong, you know, I love my stuff, but that's it. It's not stuff to me. It's part of me. And I don't want any more than I need, but I do want what I need. I want to live. I so desperately want to live that I am willing to die for it. Because I've seen what happens to people who go up against this world and challenge the authority. But the authority is bollocks, and I don't accept it. So what do they say? What you can't beat, join. What you can't, no. Oh, I don't know. I'm really shit at all those sayings, but I've got them all down, and it's odd because I'm speaking to this, and because I feel like it's me speaking. Like when I'm speaking to people, like it flows so much better. Like, what did the crisis team always say? You're not presenting yourself very well. Well, I can't present myself very well. I don't work like that. But anyway, this is me. I'm here, and I'm raring to go, and I'm really excited. Do you know, whatever? I'm even excited now just doing this because it's been such a long and hard road to get here. But I made a promise that I would. And I have. And I've only just scratched the surface on my brain. But I can't do it alone. And I can't do it in this environment. I cannot work in these conditions. And can't you just taste the suffering of people? Can't you feel the earth dying, crying out for help? Well, I would say if you can't, you're lucky, but I've seen the future and I've seen the past. And I understand the quantum reality of now. So, there's time going to have to come where people are going to have to make their choice. And whether in a materialistic way, or a spiritual way. But I don't know. I still feel so embarrassed to talk about all this. But I'm going to have to learn to get over it. But I'm going to need help. I need help. I need a tutor. I need a therapist. I need a social worker because where I live, I can't move just yet. And, I need my house. Like, it's something to do with the way my I've got, just like humans got 3 brains, I've got several consciousness, just like the electron that moves up and down an atom. I get knocked off mine really, really easy. And I move into my lizard brain, or my mother brain, as I now call it. Anyway, my arm's hurting. This is flashing at me, so I don't know if it's going to go. But I've had to do it on the iPod because I can only get one person to come round to my house and help me upload this video, and they only know how to upload from an iPhone. So yeah, my arm's hurting, and I've been saying goodbye for ages. But yeah, this is my hello world, and I just hope and imagine, and I have to believe that I live in a world where if you ask for help and you deserve it, that it is out there. And so far, I've found that to be absolutely not the case, or just in such small doses that it's only applicable to some people. So some people fall through the net without any chance of help, and then no one feels the responsibility to help because obviously what do they like to say? Oh, you're resisting help. But there is help out there. I've spoken to lawyers, charities, mental institutions, the police. I didn't bother with the government because I've seen what they've done to Iraq, what they do to their own people. And I personally didn't think they give a shit. So, you know, I didn't bother with the government, admittedly. But, you know, I've asked my friends, I've begged on Facebook, I've sent emails to, well, I'm on to Roger Penrose at least. I'll let you study my brain if you would just give me some physics books. Because that's the point. You know, you say that the information is out there, but all I can afford is coffee table books. You know, and that's more concerned with who went to what university and what year. I don't give a shit about all that. That's biography. I want physics. And oh, someone's here. Right, quick. I want. Are they? Yeah. Hey, can you give me just 2 seconds? You can come in, but just give me 2 seconds because I've just made another video and I think this one's better than the last one. So sorry, that's my curry arriving. Where I was like, yeah, it's because, like, you know, the only books that I can afford are coffee table ones. You can't get them from the library, so the only way for you to get your hands on this information is either to go through university or buy the books yourself, and they're like £500 a pop for I don't even know what I'm getting because I've just got to wade through the information and see what works and what doesn't. So, right, anyway, I'm definitely going to go now, and I am desperate to open my beer and just chill out because at least I've said something. You know, if you don't know what to say, it's better to say something than nothing. So here's my something. I hope it doesn't come to nothing. And yeah, peace.